Hey, our last session is my part is an interview with Dave Krekak. Dave's been a friend for a long time. In fact, he's on the board of IHL, the Board of Advisors, and Dave's got an innovative new program that he's leading up that provides opportunities for foster kids aging out of the system as well as kids on the autistic spectrum. So let me turn it over to Dave. Hey, Dave.
Thanks, Greg. Good to see you. And thanks for an opportunity to present to this impressive group of business leaders.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
Dave. I'm Dave Krekak. I'm the vice president of region. I'm a regional vice president, actually, of Health Connect America. And my focus and my call is to create jobs for young adults with disabilities in one of our 51 locations over 5 states. And what we've found out, obviously, is there is a problem with, well, there's a few problems. One is there's probably 14 to 15 million tons of e-waste that's going into landfills. There are a huge employment gap with blue collar opportunities for kids that are coming out of high school that might not have the funding for college. We also see that there's an entry level opportunity that's not there for foster care adults, individuals that are coming out of foster care that don't have a mentor that can introduce them to the workplace and what opportunities those might be. One of the many services that we provide is foster care counseling and therapeutic foster care. So it's kind of a natural
Yeah.
thing for us to fall into that, would be to introduce them, especially with their God-given talents as possible job coaches to work with our young adults with disabilities. And then lastly, obviously there's a now 82% unemployment rate, and it's
Wow.
even worse now after COVID. And that's
Yeah.
with adults with special needs. So their ability to find jobs are it's just amazing, and it's breaking our hearts, and we're going to do something about that.
Yeah. So I mean, COVID introduces a lot of different things as offices have closed and people have worked remote. And so we've got all this stuff, all this equipment that's not being used. And the program that you're doing actually provides a solution for that.
Yes, thank you. It's called Electronics Recycling Solutions, and last year we purchased a company for this very reason. And this year we're finding out that's exactly the case. Is there are hundreds of cubicles that are now empty that were in these corporations and headquarters and businesses that are not being used. So what Electronics Recycling Solutions does is we allow those computer systems to be recycled, and we downstream those parts and pieces. We've hired individuals with special needs to do the disassembly, to do the reformatting, and to do the interaction when it comes to the public. So they're able to reformat those computers. We actually have gone through the process of R2 certification. It took about a year to do. That gives us the ability to give them a certificate of destruction for those companies that want their hard drives wiped clean
Yeah,
or,
absolutely.
or crushed into tiny little pieces, which we can do as well.
Yeah.
So this gives opportunities for our young adults. And we've got now in one of our facilities, 7 young adults that are sitting around who are the hardest working individuals you'll ever meet. They're always on task. There's never any drama, and they're not checking their cell phones. They're hot after doing the disassembly, downstreaming, reformatting, sometimes selling those systems on eBay, which is another skill set. And that gives us an opportunity to recruit from the foster care system for those that are aging out to work with us on becoming job coaches. We do the training to teach them what it's like to work with a young adult with disabilities.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And this is like a win-win for companies. We have retailers, we have vendors, we've got all kinds of folks here that have equipment that they're not going to be able to use now
Absolutely.
and need to have a safe way to make sure it's destroyed and the data is properly destroyed and everything there. So it's exciting that you can provide jobs to these kids that are aging out. That's the most vulnerable group of the kids in the foster care system, as they have an 85% chance of either being homeless, in jail, dead, or pregnant within 18 months of aging out of the system. So having job opportunities that are provided and is critical. And if we can do that as an industry by having this equipment that we're not using anymore, COVID that brought this unintended consequence, all the more. So
We've also launched a trade school. We've seen that there's a gap, a blue collar gap. Uh, and this trade school is an opportunity where we've seen electrical contractors basically uh, paying for the classes for these young adults to become electricians. So
yeah,
they're their classes are being paid for. Perfect opportunity for us to recruit some of those that are coming out of foster care to teach them what it's like to have a blue collar job, sometimes making a lot of money being an electrician, and to do that with having that being paid for by some of these contracting companies.
Yeah,
So we're
that's great.
excited that that's another opportunity.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Dave is going to have one of the Zoom rooms that we have afterwards, where it's going to be listed on the charities, the document over on the side. We've got the handout where you can have link up with Dave and chat to him about this progress and this program if you're interested. And we thank you. And Dave, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks so much, Greg, and thank you all for listening.